Hey, what's up guys, it's Renaldo here. So this video is going to focus on South Africa deciding to host and participate in a naval exercise between Russia, China, Iran and South Africa. And that's taking place from the 9th of January until the 16th of January 2026. Now, before we get into the crux of this video, please be sure to subscribe to this channel. It's absolutely free. And the overwhelming majority of you that regularly watch my content aren't subscribed to this channel. But you can fix that by just clicking the subscribe button below and it'll be greatly appreciated. Alright, so I'm pretty sure that you are aware that this naval exercise was coming. I'm also sure that you are aware of what's happening in Venezuela, specifically between the United States and then the Venezuelan military, Russia, China, and Iran. So with this geopolitical event taking place around Venezuela, South Africa is deciding, well, let's just swing for the fences and side with BRICS, because what can go wrong? Our second biggest trading partner is the United States. But hey, let's focus on building a relationship with countries whose major focus is exporting. So, not sure how we are going to benefit out of this trade relationship with BRICS, considering that most of the countries that form part of BRICS are export nations. And we also export mostly to the United States, but now apparently not. We're going to compete with China and India and Russia. But hey, it'll be fine, says the ANC, right? And also just on that, last time I checked, the only actual thing that is working in the Navy that is worthwhile is one frigate and then one submarine that can't submerge. So I'm not really sure how we are going to participate in this naval exercise. Perhaps that one frigate will save the world. Who knows? And maybe that submarine that can't submerge will save the world. Who knows? But this once again just speaks to how the ANC is taking us from a working relationship with a lot of people and countries around the world to focusing on just wanting to associate with BRICS nations, which, as we know, are all going through their own type of turmoil at the moment. We know the Chinese housing market is on the brink of collapse. We know that Russia's military is pretty much depleted with their war in Ukraine, and Iran, well, the people are having an uprising in Iran. But yet South Africa would rather want to side with these nations than a nation that's actually on the up and up, which is the United States. Now, of course, what we are putting on the table here and what we are risking to lose, and to some extent have already lost, is US aid, the AGOA agreement, and then a reduced tariff between the United States and South Africa. But yet South Africa and pretty much the ANC is once again choosing BRICS. And the media has already started talking about this, specifically internationally. You've got Bloomberg here that says South Africa hosts BRICS naval drill, risks renewed US ire. Then you've got Polity that says South Africa hosts BRICS naval exercise, risks renewed US ire, which I'm assuming is the exact same article, but the one is South African and the other one is international. I'm not going to go too much in detail here. I think we all know that Russia, China, and Iran are all sending ships to come and play around here at the southern tip of Africa. And then we also have Defense Web, who, what, and where of will for peace naval exercise not clarified. And in this, they pretty much say that there's not really a lot of information. The exercise was confirmed by the South African National Defence Force Joint Operations Division statement issued on the 30th of December. It in part noted the People's Republic of China will lead the joint interagency, interdepartmental, multinational exercise. But what they're also saying here is that the SA Navy base at operational headquarters with minimal information forthcoming from the SANDF communication personnel. So in essence, South Africa doesn't really want to talk about this naval exercise that they are hosting in South Africa. Now, what really blows my mind with regards to all of this is that considering what just happened in Venezuela, considering the rocky relationship between South Africa and the United States, they are doubling down by siding with BRICS over the United States. And I've previously mentioned all the problems that China, Russia, and Iran is experiencing at the moment, and how it would rather be a safe bet to associate with the United States, especially for South Africa's economy. But the ANC and Cyril Ramaphosa is hell-bent on siding with BRICS rather than with the United States. And this can also clearly be indicated by just showcasing when last South Africa had naval exercises with the United States. The last time South Africa had a joint naval exercise with the United States was 2015. And then since then, on multiple occasions, they've rejected invitations from the United States, but then in the same year agreed to do naval exercises with BRICS nations. There were 2 times when South Africa actually rejected the United States outright because they had the most stupid excuses, where it was the terms of the exercise in which one of them said that the United States will be able to defend their ship, not when they're doing the drill, but just protecting their ship in the harbor. And South Africa said, no, that's unacceptable. So apparently protecting your vessel in a country that is not your own, South Africa didn't want them to do that. I'm sure that they were probably scared that the ship would be hijacked. But seriously though, it shows a pattern, ladies and gentlemen. 2015 was the last time South Africa and the United States did a joint naval exercise, which is now 11 years, technically 10, but 11 years if you look that it's 2026. And yet, when we look at the BRICS nations, we have naval exercises far more often. So there is clearly a move from the ANC government, which is now the GNU government. And by the way, shame on the DA for just coming out with a press statement and not actually forcing the government, because you know you are the second biggest party in South Africa, to say that you condemn this should not take place. Instead, you write a strongly worded letter saying that you don't agree with this taking place. Once again, the DA acting like they're the opposition, when in actual fact they are part of the government. And it's so shameless that out of all of this, everybody is just looking at this and going, hey, whatever may be, may be. I find it infuriating that this is the best that the DA can do when they are part of the GNU government. Because, make no mistake, when this exercise starts tomorrow, the DA is part of the government's decision to allow this to take place. Because other than a strongly worded email and statement to the press, that is pretty much all they've done. They haven't had meetings with the ANC. They haven't tried to convince the ANC not to do this. And trust me, South Africa will suffer, because as many of the mainstream media outlets have said, the USA is going to respond to this. And I truly believe that sanctions is around the corner. Mark my words, take note of this video. Within the next 2 months, sanctions would have hit South Africa. Hopefully it will just hit the ANC, EFF, and maybe the MK politicians. But after, the ANC representing South Africa and saying South Africa agrees to these things, and then of course the condemnation of what happened in Venezuela, you will clearly see that the United States will come out with a strong statement to tell South Africa where exactly they are in the pecking order. And listen, I understand that it might come across as if I am consistently pro-United States and want to fight their battles on behalf of them. This couldn't be further from the truth. All I want is what is best for South Africa. And the fact that we are potentially going to lose our second biggest trading partner, and a country that has always been kind to us with our exports through AGOA, and also providing aid to Africa and specifically South Africa through US aid, for us to say thank you by doing what we are doing now simply just isn't right. And also, if you look at the world economy and you look at the countries, the United States, out of all of the countries that we are deciding to side with, is the most stable and the one that is actually growing. And yet the other nations, Russia, China, and Iran, are facing serious issues within their countries. The one is at war, the other one has an uprising that's going on in their country, and the other one has got a housing market that is on the brink of collapse. And despite all of that, the ANC still chooses them over the United States. Make it make sense. And that's pretty much all I got to say, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, share this video far and wide. And if you enjoy my content and if you enjoy this channel, please consider becoming a member. You can do so by clicking the join button below, and it'll cost you R39.99 a month, and that is in support of me and this channel. And that's all I got to say, everybody. Till later, cheers and peace out.
You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say I wear my massacre. You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say I wear my massacre.